Hey there, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to do an overall inspection and test drive of this E46 M3 drift car. We are doing so to ensure that this car is good to go for the next drift event. Going to kick things off with a exterior and in-cabin overview, and then we will take this car up to the shop, throw it up on the lift, and inspect the suspension and underneath of the car. We have these HGK Kevlar carbon fiber fenders, front and rear. They are designed to take a beating and hold true to their shape. When it comes to the livery, it is a complete DIY job done by the owner. It is his first time ever wrapping a car. I do believe he did a very good job, being his first ever time attempting a wrap. Carbon fiber CSL hood, carbon fiber roof, along with a CSL style carbon fiber trunk. The back of the car has been trimmed and tucked. No rear bumper. However, we do have a, once again, HGK Kevlar carbon rear ledge, as they call it, to complete the fenders. You can see a SPG AutoFab crash bar. Also, the whole chassis has been stitch welded. As you can see here, there are a bunch of welds along all the seams of the body, inside and out. That is going to help with rigidity of the chassis. Back here, we have a hollowed out trunk with the fuel filler right here, battery. Then we have this strut to subframe reinforcement brace bolted in. You can see where the crash bar ties into the chassis right here. Now, with the front bumper removed, you can see the front crash bar. It is fully custom, and once again, it ties directly to the chassis of the car. There were bolts added for extra strength and rigidity. You can stand on this, bounce on it. You can also jack up the car from that. The interior, much like the exterior, has been heavily modified. We have a full cage welded in. OMP RSPT seat for the driver, and a NRG Plasma Ultra for the passenger. We also have a set of Schroet harnesses for both the driver and passenger. They are a 6-point setup. We have some floor plates from the company called RFS. IRP short shifter, along with a hydro. This right here is an inline shutoff valve. This acts as your parking brake. So you actuate the hydro, you hold it, and simultaneously you close that valve, and that will hold pressure in this line, keeping the rear brakes locked up so the car does not move. Next, we have this custom 3D printed control panel with a carbon fiber face. The entire car has been rewired using an aftermarket fuse panel. So every single circuit that is no longer necessary has been removed from the car, leaving only the necessities. The engine of this car, which is original to the E46 M3, is a S62 V8. It is an amazing power plant. This engine in particular is set up very simple. A nice solid tune, refreshed rod bearings, and a brand new Vanos unit. Here we have a fan clutch, which some of you may wonder why there isn't an electric fan. It still has the original electric pusher fan, but when it comes to a fan clutch, they're actually very efficient and produce a lot of CFMs compared to most aftermarket cooling fans. Okay, and here we are underneath the car. So, first things first, the suspension is BC Racing coilovers front and rear. Down below that, we have a SLR full angle kit, along with a Turner Motorsport sway bar up front. Moving on back, we have a set of catless headers on here, followed by a full Bemerworld race exhaust, which measures in at 3.5 inch the whole way back. And then we also have some SLR solid aluminum engine mounts. There's the passenger side, and then the driver's side is right there. Those are paired with solid aluminum SLR transmission mounts. Check this out right here. Here we have a OEM Jubo or flex disc. I love seeing OEM Jubos. This guy knows what he's doing, because we also have a OEM center support bearing up in there for the drive shaft. If you were to use a poly or aluminum version Jubo or flex disc, that adds a ton of extra stress to the drive line. You can damage your transmission and other components. Too much shock. The OEM equipment works perfect. Another component that I like to see OEM would be the steering flex disc. As you can see, it is the original rubber here. That is a common go-to, especially for drifting, because it is more gentle on your hands and wrists at full lock and whatnot. Another go-to option would be the U-joint style from Condor Speed Shop. They have a good unit made in the US. I don't like to put the poly or Delrin or solid discs in here. I have installed them. Usually the fitment sucks. You have to modify them to fit properly. Maybe they're better nowadays. I don't know. And it also messes with the angle a little bit. They can be hard to install. So usually the OEM rubber or going straight to the U-joint style steering coupler is a sure bet. And then up in here, we have a Turner Motorsport DSSR dual sear selector rod, which goes directly to the bottom of the shifter, which is seen here. Okay, so moving on to the rear of the car, we have a nice set of M3 trailing arms, of course, because it's an M3. I always enjoy seeing the M logo on the trailing arms for the M3. Pretty cool little touch. Up inside of the ARD tab pocket, the rear trailing arm bushing, it appears we have a spherical style bushing, which I also love to see that. A lot of people will put poly bushings up in there, which isn't very ideal. You want this trailing arm to articulate, much like how it's originally supposed to. So I often recommend people to go straight to a monoball or spherical style type bushing. You can also see we have aftermarket toe plates back here for more adjustment. And if you look past that, we have reinforcement plates for the R-tab pockets on the car. Right here are some toe points, or also can be used for tie down when you trailer the car. Once again, we have some more SLR goodies. We have solid aluminum bushings also in the subframe. You can also see the reinforcement plates welded onto the RACP. This body panel down here is known as the rear axle carrier panel. It is detrimental to get it reinforced. As most of you know, these cars have issues with the floor here cracking, and the subframe mounts will rip out of the car, worst case. So reinforcement from the bottom and also above. That black brace I showed you earlier, it is holding this stuff all together and reinforcing it from the strut towers. Makes sense. You can also see reinforcement plates welded to the car here, directly above these front points of the rear subframe. Directly above the subframe in the cabin, there's also parts welded to the car, also supporting from above. There are bolts running downward and grabbing the in-cabin mount, which you can see right here. Now typically, these points will eventually tie into the roll cage somewhere. Speaking of reinforcements, looks like a Drift HQ reinforcement brace for the rear differential. This differential is a original M3 unit, meaning it has an LSD, and it is a 4:10 ratio. The visual examination is now complete. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a more thorough look over and shakedown of this car while it's still in the air. However, you guys are not going to be forced to watch any of that because that is boring for you. I'm going to go straight to me driving this car. Hopefully you guys enjoy the next clips and the lovely sound of this S54 engine. there we have it. That is all for today's video. If you wish to follow the owner of the drift car on Instagram, here is his account. Also, if you have been following along with the other projects going on here, such as the S62 V8 swapped E46 and the Turbo E46, there have been updates for both of them. This one, if you notice anything different, I now have the original S62 oil pan and oil pump system from the M5 installed. Now, if you know, I had a lot of issues with an aftermarket oil pan. This right here cost me a lot of stress, time, and overall nearly destroyed my engine. Absolute junk. So I finally had enough, went back to all stock components, and was able to make it fit with the original E46 suspension and steering. This was no easy feat. I will go into more detail about this later. No matter what, this car will be running and driving with a S62 engine. I don't care what it takes. I am doing it. When it comes to the Turbo E46, I'm currently waiting for the turbocharger to get back from the machine shop. I had to modify it. I wasn't happy with how a certain thing was fitting. Whenever I get the turbo back in my possession, there will be a nice long video for you of how I installed the wastegate, downpipe, all that stuff will be shown in the next video regarding this. We also have some additional goodies for the Turbo E46, including this lovely brand new differential. You will be seeing this in a video soon enough. Thank you so much for watching. Also, recently, I crossed the 11,000 subscriber mark. That is absolutely insane. 11,000 people out there hit the subscribe button for this channel and the content. That's so cool. There has been a lot of new faces here. You guys are like my family, so I appreciate it, every single one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.